This is going to be a long one. Is This It? The Strokes' debut album. It adds to the list of excellent debut albums we've covered so far. Zeppelin 1, Pearl Jam 10, just to name a few. The track listing, fun fact, the track listing was changed after 9/11 for the CD release. The vinyl had already been pressed, with the song New York City Cops being replaced by When It Started. That's also the version that's on streaming, so I listened to When It Started, not New York City Cops. This album is the musical equivalent of a coming-of-age film. Julian's writing discusses the life and relationships of young people in the city. Sound-wise, it's garage rock, indie rock, a little bit of Brit pop, but the Strokes are American, to clarify. Let's get into the record. Someday, the only song I knew going into this, a rockabilly-type song with great guitar work. The music video has appearances by Slash and Duff McKagan from Guns N' Roses. Alone Together might be the defining song of the record from a sound perspective. It wasn't a single, it's one of the deeper cuts on the record, but it sounds like what I would envision when someone says the Strokes. It just sounds like quintessential Strokes. This one's got an excellent bridge and solo too. Definitely check it out. Those were the two that I liked the most from the first half, but on the second half was a lot better, with one exception. We'll get to that in a little bit. Last Night, a strong song that's heavily based on American Girl by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. This makes 5 times now that we've talked about Tom Petty without covering any of his own music. Promise we'll fix that in a few days. Tom Petty liked the song, so much so that he invited the Strokes to be his opener on his 2006 tour. Hard to explain. It's hard to explain why I like it, and no, that pun wasn't intentional. It's just a phenomenal song. But let's talk about the exception that I mentioned, is When It Started, that replacement song from earlier. Last minute replacement for NYC Cops after 9/11, and it feels like a B-side because it originally was just a B-side. Thematically and tonally it fits, but then there's not much else that really draws me to it. It is the least good song on the record. And we end with Take It or Leave It, a song that is able to sum up the entire album's themes into 3 minutes, and Julian screaming, "He's Gonna Let You Down," is incredible. When it comes to the playlist, it was hard to narrow it down, but Alone Together and Last Night will go in there. Score, this gets a 9 out of 10. Can't give it a 10 because of When It Started. I just didn't like that song much. But if you remove that song, could easily be a 10. Great stuff. And there's a yield sign in our rearview mirror. There's a hint as to what Pearl Jam album we'll be talking about tomorrow for day 150.